Hello, kiddos. I miss you so much. My voice is finally almost back to normal. At least I don't sound like a scratchy old ogre too much. I really wanted to go over this math lesson with you. You have to understand estimation. If you don't, you're going to miss all these problems. Estimation is a great tool to use to see if your answer is reasonable. But today we're not even checking to see if they're reasonable. We're just using estimation as a tool to subtract. So let's look at this subtraction sentence. What we're doing when we're estimating is we're saying, what is it closer to? So I have 532 and 177. So 532 would be between 500 and 600. So this would be 550, right? Because it's right in the middle. So 532 would be on this side of the number line. So which one is it closer to? Is it closer to 500 or 600? What was that? I can't hear you. Okay, right. It's closer to 500. What about 177? It would be between 100 and 200. In the middle would be 150. Okay, well, 177 is bigger, right? So it will be on this side. Which one is it closer to, 100 or 200? Right, 200. And so now we just subtract. 500 subtract 200 is 300. We're not actually going to do the subtraction part today unless you want bonus points. If you do the subtraction part correctly, I'm going to give you bonus. So let's look at this one without a number line. 56. So 56 is between 50 and 60. It has 5 tens. I look next door. It has 6 ones. 5 or more, add 1 more. So 56 would round to 60. 32 has 3 tens and only 2 ones. 4 or less, let it rest. So we let the 3 stay and we turn the 2 to a 0. So it rounds to 30. 60 minus 30 is 30. We do this because it's very easy to subtract multiples of 10. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the full subtraction just because I like to do that. Okay, are 24 and 30 pretty close to each other? Yeah, they are. So that's reasonable. What if we have a bigger number? 564 subtract 326. So we're going to round this to the nearest hundred of 500s and 6 tens. Okay, remember when we said up here, 6 tells me to add 1 more, 5 or more, add 1 more. So I add 1 to the 5, it becomes a 6. Everything else becomes a 0. It rounds to 600. Okay, 326 is next. It has 300s and only 2 ones. We set up here 2 ones, said we need to let it rest. So we're going to let our 300s stay, and everything else changes to a 0. So 600 minus 300 is 300. Now I'm going to do the actual subtraction and see if it's close. That would round 5, 10 or more. Need some more on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 238. Did I subtract that right? That doesn't seem very reasonable. 564, 326. More on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 14 minus 6 is 8. Okay, it is. Those aren't very close. They're really not, but hey, my answer's right. Crazy. All right, so today this is the part we're going to focus on. You're going to have to get it right. So wait for your substitute to pass out the guided practice, and you're going to work them with me. Okay, so for this one, you can just watch me, relax, put your pencils down, sit in LLP, and just watch me do the work. You have it easy for right now. It says the largest yellowfin tuna caught by fishers weighed 387 pounds. The largest grouper caught weighed 436 pounds. About, the word about tells me to estimate. That's very important. If you see it in a word problem, it means estimate or round. About, okay? About how much more did the grouper weigh than the yellowfin tuna? Okay, so it says, does the question ask for an exact answer? No. How do you know? Because it uses the word about. What? B-E-C-A-U. Anytime you see the word about in a word problem, it wants you to estimate or round. Ran out of room there. We'll make do. Make it work. That's what we do. Okay, we're not going to do compatible numbers. Okay, that's just too much. Look at your neighbor and say, that is too much. What we're going to do is we're going to round them to the nearest hundred. So 436 has 400s and 3 tens. The 3 tens tells me to let it rest, so I'm going to keep my 400s and I'm going to change everything else to zeros. 400. Okay, 387 has 300s and 8 tens. 5 or more, add 1 more. So I'm going to take my 3 and add 1 to it. What would that be? 4. And then change everything else to zeros. Now, because we are not using compatible numbers, your answers might not be that close. But trust me, I'm having you do it the easier way. Okay, now you don't have to do this on your paper, but I want to just because I love it. More on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. So that's 9. That's 4, 49 and 0. Are they close? Yeah, kind of. It's closer to 0 than it is 100, right? Okay, so now I want you to pick up your pencil. Okay, we're going to try number A. We're not going to answer this, but we use rounding numbers. You don't have to write this down. We're not using compatible numbers, even though they would get us closer to our answer. We're going to round. So see that 75 right there? Mark that whole thing out. We're going to use a different problem. Okay, if I'm rounding to 73 to the nearest 10, what's it going to be? Briley. I hope you said 70, because it would be. What about 22 to the nearest 10? What's it going to be? Aiden. 20. Okay, 70 minus 20 is 50. Right, because 0 minus 0 is 0. 7 minus 2 is 5. Now I'm going to do the real thing. 3 minus 2 is 1. Okay, 50, 51. Those are close, aren't they? So that's reasonable. Now, mark this out. We're not doing compatible numbers. Okay, so we've got 376, and I need to round it to the nearest 100. I've got 3 hundreds and 7 tens. Read, what am I going to round that to? I hope you said 400. Then I have 148 rounded to the nearest 100. I have 104 tens. What am I going to round that to, Kyle? I hope you said 100. 400 minus 100 is 300. Now I'm going to go do the actual math because it's so fun. 16 minus 8 is 8. 6 minus 4 is 2. Whoa. Oh, yeah, that's 2. 228. Are those close? No, not really, because I didn't use compatible numbers. Okay, but trust me, this is the better way to do it. Okay, so we're going to skip all this up here You don't need to mark it out, all of this jazz. This is what we're actually doing, though. All right, so let's look at A. Everybody touch A with your pencil. Miss Substitute or Mr. Substitute, I'm not sure who's in my room today. Probably Miss. I've only had a man substitute once. All right, what do we get around 761 to? 800. Now I need to round 528. Jonah, what am I going to round 528 to? 500. Okay, so that's 300. Okay, 1 minus 8, I can't do it. More on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 11 minus 8 is 3. 5 minus 2 is 3. 7 minus 5 is 2. Did I do that right? 11 minus 8 is 3. Yeah. Okay. So notice they're not that close. They're really not. But that's okay. Okay, so they've rounded 287 for us. I need Remington, round 642 to the nearest 100. Hopefully it's at 600. 600 minus 300 is 300. Now I'm going to do the actual subtraction. More on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 5, 13 minus 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, I mean, that's kind of close. All right, now the substitute's going to pause the video while you work this one, okay? Mr. or Mrs. Substitute, please pause the video, let them work this one, and then we're going to check it. Okay, so we're not using compatible numbers. Look at your neighbor and say, we are not using compatible numbers. Okay, 546 rounds to 500. 209 rounds to 200. Okay, that's 300. 6 minus 9 can't do it. More on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. That's 7. That's 3. That's 3. Okay, I forgot to tell you guys before you did that sample not to use compatible numbers. We're just going to round. Okay, see it says rounding or compatible numbers. We are not doing compatible numbers. All right, do number 2 and pause the video. Brinley, what did you round 57 to? 60. Whitley, what'd you round 20 to? 21 to. Whoops. Yeah, kind of gave the answer away on that one, didn't I? 20. 60 minus 20 is 40. Now let's do the actual subtraction. 7 minus 1 is 6. 5 minus 2 is 3. 36 and 40 are pretty close together. All right. 642 minus 137. Pause it. Give them a couple of minutes to work it. I hope you're watching. I might pick you. All right. 642. Josh, what'd you round 642 to? I hope you said 600. And 137, what did you round that to? Henry. 100. Okay, let's do the actual subtraction. Okay, more on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 12 minus 7 is 5. 3 minus 3 is nothing. And 505. Hey, that's close. All right. Let's do the next one together. Okay, so 374 has 3 hundreds and 7 tens. Okay, 5 or more, add 1 more. So I'm going to add 1 to my 3. What will that become? 4. Change everything else to a 0. 252 has 2 hundreds and 5 tens. 5 or more, add 1 more. What will it be if I add 1 to 2? 3. What is 400 minus 300? 100. Now let's do the actual subtraction. 4 minus 2 is 2. 7 minus 5 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. Okay, that's not bad, right? Let's keep going. Pick those pencils up, sit up. I know you're tired. I get it. I don't feel great, but I'm working. I need you to be working. We still have to be learning and teaching. All right, 67 minus 24. 67 rounds to what class? 70. 24 rounds to what? What class? I can't hear you. 20. 70 minus 20 is 50. 7 minus 4 is 3. 6 minus 2 is 4. 43 and 50, those are pretty close together, right? Not bad. Let's do this next one. Excuse me. 81 minus 39. 81, what's it going to round to? Class. 80. Geniuses. 39, what is that going to round to? Adley. 40. 80 minus 40 is 40. Now I'm going to do the actual subtraction. More on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 9 minus 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. 7 minus 3 is 4. 42 and 40 are pretty close, so that's reasonable. Whew, it's hot in here. All right, 936 minus 421. What are we going to round? 936 to Hayden. I hope you said 900. What are we going to round? 421 to Frankie. I hope you said 400. Okay, 900 minus 400 is 500. 6 minus 1 is 5. 3 minus 2 is 1. 9 minus 4 is 5. Okay, those are reasonable. 804. What's it going to round to? Class. 800. What about 259? Zaylee. I hope you said 300. 800 minus 300 is 500. Whoops. Sorry, Nanny's calling. Hey, I'm recording a video. I'll be right there. Just give her Friday's pills then. Sorry, guys. Bonnie issue. Forgot to put her medicine out for today. All right. Now I'm going to actually do the subtraction. Oh, Drama Queen 0. Whoop, whoop. Oh, good gravy. My phone never rings until I record a video. All right. So I have to skip over Drama Queen 0, go to my hundreds. He's going to drop a 9 and then give me a 10. So now 14. Subtract 9 is 5. 9 subtract 5 is 4. 7 subtract 2 is 5. All right. Trucking right along. All right. Pause the video. Do number 8. I'm number 9. Pardon me. I'm sorry. Do number 9. And then unpause it and we'll talk about it. Okay. So, Justin, what did you round 584 to? 600. Sydney, what did you round 208 to? 200. 600 minus 200 is 400. Now let's do the actual subtraction. More on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 14 minus 8 is 6. 7 minus nothing is 7. 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, those are close. Oh no, what do I do? There's no hundreds in the bottom number. Pause the video and work the problem. If you can. Okay, I totally know you can. The only thing is going to be making sure you keep those hundreds, tens, and ones lined up. Okay, 442 rounds to 400. 36 rounds to 40. But I need to make sure I keep my 4 under the 0 in the tens place. And then write my 0 ones there. Okay, because now I'm not going to... It's not going to be the same as the other answers, right? It's not going to be a multiple of 100. Okay, 0 minus 0 is 0. Now I got to go next door and get 10 more. 10 minus 4 is 6. So 360 is what we got that time. Now let's do the actual subtraction. More on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 12 minus 6 is 6. 3 minus 3 is nothing. 4 minus nothing is 4. All right. Those are close-ish, I guess. I guess. If you guys see me doing something wrong on my subtraction, tell me. Yell it at me. I can't fix it because it's already a video, but... Okay, 96 subtract 63. What is 96 going to round to, Breland? This one's a tricky one. I hope you said 100. Okay, what about 63? What is that going to round to, Kaylee? Okay, 60. 0 minus 0 is 0. More on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. So now I have 10 minus 6 is 4, so 40. All right. 6 minus 3 is 3. 9 minus 6 is 3. Are they close? Yeah, mostly. Okay. 528 minus 274. We need to round these numbers. 528 rounds to 500. 274 rounds to 300. 500 minus 300 is 200. Now let's subtract. 8 minus 4 is 4. More on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 12 minus 7 is 5. 4 minus 2 is 2. Pause the video and work number 13. Okay, 761. What's it going to round to, Harper? I hope you said 800. 489. What's it going to round to, Braden? 500. 800 minus 500 is 300. Okay, now let's do the subtraction. More on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 11 minus 9 is 2. 5 minus 8 is can't do it. More on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 15 minus 8 is 7. 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay, so for the next problems, I'm going to give you an option. You can always work it vertically. That means up and down instead of horizontally. But for our estimates or our rounding numbers, it's really not bad to work horizontally. 429 rounds to 400. 51 rounds to 50. Okay, so 400 minus 50 is 350. Now, if you had trouble with that, write it down vertically. 400 minus 50, 0 minus 0 is 0. Okay, that's 10. Okay, so see, I still got the same answer. Now I'm going to go ahead and check it and do my actual subtraction. 429 minus 51. 9 minus 1 is 8. More on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 378. Yeah, those are pretty close. Okay, let's look at the next one. 491 rounds to 500. 270 rounds to what, class? 300. 500 minus 300 is 200. Now I'm going to do my actual subtraction. And again, you could have done that vertically if you needed to. Do you, boo. 1 minus 0 is 1. 9 minus 7 is 2. Okay, so 221. That seems reasonable. Okay, I'm sorry if you hear the noise from the traffic that drives too fast, or if you hear the chirping birds. I just had to open a window. I'm burning up. Okay, so we have a chart that says largest saltwater fish caught. We've got Pacific halibut. It weighed 459 pounds. The conger weighed 133 pounds. And the yellowfin tuna that we read about on the first page was 387 pounds. So let's look at number 16. About how many more pounds does the Pacific halibut weigh than the yellowfin tuna? Okay, about. What does about tell me to do? Round. It does not want the exact number. So we need to know how many more the Pacific halibut weighed than the tuna weighed. All right, so I'm going to put PH for Pacific halibut. Okay, that weighed 459. And then the yellowfin tuna, YT, and 387. Now I need to round both of those numbers because about means to round. 459 rounds to 500. 387 rounds to 400. All right, so when I subtract that, I get 1. So about 100 pounds more. That's not a sentence, isn't it? Is it? More. Oh, okay, you know what, guys? I'm going to let you not put a complete sentence this time. Sorry, I'm starting to not feel great. Okay, this says, what's the question? The answer is about 500 pounds. What's the question? How many pounds of pizza can my teacher eat? No, just kidding. Just kidding. Don't you write that down. Okay, we're going to skip that one. That one would be kind of fun to do if I were there, but we don't have time for that today. But let's look at number 18. Sean said the 3 fish weigh about 1,000 pounds altogether. Explain why you agree or disagree. All right, so let's see. All 3 of these fish, he's saying they weigh about 1,000 pounds altogether. So I don't have to round the Pacific halibut again, right? I can just write down 500. And then my yellowfin tuna rounded to 400. I don't need to round that again. I can write it down. But I didn't round the conger earlier. Okay, what would the conger round to? 100. All right, so let's see what we've got here. 0, 0, 0. 0 plus 0 plus 0, 0. Oh, hey, look at that. When I rounded, it is about 1,000 pounds. Okay, so I'm going to put I agree because, and then, no, I pause the video anytime you need to catch up to write because I realize I write and talk really quickly. 500 plus 400 plus 100 equals 1,000. Okay, remember when you see about in a math problem, it means round. Okay. So it says about. What are we going to do, class? Round. About how much more is the total weight of the Pacific halibut and the conger than the weight of the yellowfin tuna? Okay, so I've got to let me make sure I'm reading that correctly. Because math there's a lot of important reading in math. About how much more is the total weight of the Pacific halibut and the conger. Okay, so I need to round these two. Pacific halibut was 500. So I'm going to write that down. The conger was 133, and so we rounded that to 100, right? So if I put those two together, it makes about 600 pounds. And we said that the yellowfin tuna weighs about 400 pounds. So I need to take this amount and subtract 400, and that will tell me how much more. 600 minus 400 is 200. Okay, so we're going to abbreviate these. Okay, we're going to call the Pacific halibut PH and the conger C the PH and C. Well, we can go ahead and write conger. It's just one word. Weigh about 600 pounds. And there's the abbreviation for pounds. LBS. Why LBS? I don't know. It doesn't even have an L or a B in it. It has a D in it. Crazy, crazy imperial measurement. Okay. Then we subtracted 400 for the yellowfin tuna. And we can abbreviate yellowfin tuna. YT. The answer is about 200. I'm wondering if my fever is back. I am sweating. Woo-wee. All right, last one. Look at your neighbor and say, praise the Lord. Okay, it says a total of 926 people went to a fishing tournament. Of these people, 607 arrived before noon. What is the best estimate of the number of people who arrived in the afternoon? So they want to know about how many people arrived in the afternoon. Okay, so before noon is not the afternoon, right? And we know that 926 people went total. So let's go ahead and round the total number of people. Okay, that would round to what? I can't hear you. What? 900. Now, if we pull out the 607 that arrived before noon, but we're going to round that, then that would tell us about how many people arrived after noon, right? Because they arrived in two groups. They arrived before noon and after noon. So if I pull out the group that arrived before noon, that should tell me how many arrived in the afternoon. Remember, when we are subtracting, we can take the big number and one of the small numbers and then subtract, and it will give us the other small number. We can't forget about those math relationships. So 607 would round to about 600. Okay, so 0, and 3. So yeah, about 300. Okay, your assignment is in Seesaw. Please work hard. This is for a grade. You do not have to solve the actual math problem like we did over here. You do have to do this part. You must do this part, okay? But you don't have to do this part. If you do this part and you get it right, I will give you bonus points, okay? I miss you. I won't be back with you until Thursday.